The hour of 7 p.m. having arrived, and in the absence of the mayor, I will call to order this regular meeting of the Keene City Council. As provided for in Section 6 of our Rules of Order, I will call the roll before we entertain a motion to elect a temporary chair for the meeting. Brian J. Lake.
Here.
Michael J. Remy. Gladys Johnson.
Here.
Michael Giacomo. Randy L. Filio.
Here.
Robert C. Williams.
Here.
Philip M. Jones.
Here.
Andrew M. Madison. Chrissy Roberts.
Here.
Raleigh C. Omerod.
Here.
Bettina A. Chadbourne. Catherine I. Workman.
Here.
Mitchell H. Greenwald.
Here.
Kate M. Bosley.
Here.
Thomas F. Powers.
Here.
For the purposes of electing a temporary chair, I'll recognize Councilor Bosley for a motion, Councilor Greenwald for a second.
I move to elect Councilor Powers as our temporary chair.
And that motion is seconded.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Councilor Powers, will you come forward and approach the dais?
This meeting is being broadcast live on the City of Keene YouTube channel. The video is also streamed on the city's website and is posted on the website by the end of the next business day, barring any technical difficulties. If you'd like to receive an electronic city council packet to reference while viewing future broadcasts, please contact the city clerk's office during business hours or go to the city's website and subscribe to the city meetings email list. The agenda is also accessible from any mobile device. And I'm going to ask Councilor Williams to lead us in the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have a few announcements this evening. A reminder that next week's FOP meeting for October the 13th has been canceled to allow counselors to attend the annual fire prevention dinner scheduled for 6 p.m. on Thursday. Counselors are also encouraged to participate in the fire prevention parade, which is this Sunday, October the 9th. The parade will start at 1 p.m. and it will be passing by the reviewing stand at the corner of Railroad Street and Main Street for the counselors to stand with the judges of the parade contestants. Due to this cancellation of the FOP meeting, representatives of Spectrum will be invited to the October 27th and December 8th FOP meetings to give an update on the service issues in the city of Keene. The dates for the evaluation process for the City Council's 3 charter employees have been established for this year. The city manager's evaluation is scheduled first. There will be a special City Council meeting on November 1st at 6 p.m. The evaluation dates for the city attorney and city clerk will occur in 2023, and councilors will be hearing from me in the next day or so with a mail message on how to fill out the forms online. And could I recognize Councilor Greenwald for just a short message?
Really
Short message.
Really short message. This is brought to you by my wife. On your desks, there's an invitation to the annual breakfast for the Keene Housing Kids Collaborative. This is their annual benefit breakfast, free food. And this is extended to all the city council and all the senior city staff. I hope you will come. It is Friday, October 21st from 7 to 8:30. Hope to see you. Thank you.
Thank you. Minutes of the preceding meeting. Councilor Bosley for a motion. Councilor Greenwald for the second.
I move to accept the minutes from the September 15th, 2022 regular meeting as presented.
Motion is seconded.
All those in favor? All right, thank you. We have several presentations, proclamations this evening, and we're going to start out with the presentation of retirements. Unfortunately, Chief Prusso was unable to attend tonight, and we'll be hopeful that we'll see him in the very near future for a public presentation of his plaque. I'd like to have Diane Richards-Stoddard join us up here.
It's on.
Become really formal. So, in the year of our Lord 2022, a resolution in appreciation of Diane C. Richards-Stoddard upon her retirement, resolved by the City Council of the City of Keene as follows. Whereas Diane began her career with the City of Keene May 2nd, 1988, as an assessment department secretary, but within 2 months had been promoted to the assessment technician, effective July 6, 1988. And whereas being extremely capable, organized, ethical, relentless in her pursuit of an answer, so she could accomplish a goal, as well as willing to embrace opportunities for change that improve service to her customers and increase the department's efficiency, Diane used her significant knowledge, good judgment, high ethical standards to pay dividends to both the department, the city as a whole, and she was relied on for her high quality and quantity of work for ensuring the department stayed on top of its many deadline-driven projects and for identifying high priority items and seeing them through, especially helpful as the department of 5 evolved into 3. And whereas great at problem solving and with a caring nature, Diane is well known for her empathy, listening skills, handling of confidential and sensitive information, ability to explain complex information, and respectful communications with disgruntled or confusing taxpayers, always welcoming and striving to offer solutions to those in need. And whereas just a few of the accomplishments attributed to her dedication and work ethic include supporting a previous assistant city manager with special projects, such as an airport obstruction clearance project, the Mission Committee's resident survey, Boston and Maine Railroad land, friendly bus and friendly express transportation planning, managing multiple state mandated certifications and recertification processes, reevaluation processes, how many of that? There was several of those.
Yes.
Mapping projects, database conversions, and training and managing student interns that serve for a variety of programs, sources, and whereas stemming from a desire to be part of the entire organization and to assist where she can, and being the ultimate team player with a tremendous knowledge of the entire community, Diane has contributed to the success of both the Health Insurance Research and Review Committees, Employee Health and Benefit Fairs, the Personnel Advisory Board and its annual elections, the Spirit Teams, and many years of employee newsletters, the new Employee Buddy Program, state and federal election night audits. Those were always fun.
Yes.
I lost my place. The Y2,
Can't see, so.
the Y2K Committee, United Way campaign drives, the Business to Business Expo, Citizens and Community Nights, holiday luncheons, the Voice Initiative, Speak Up meetings, Employee Safety Committee, an administrative task force, employee search panels, survey committees, the peer review group, a telephone service seminar, and provided support and human resources as part of the city's COVID-19 emergency response. And she earned a well-deserved Employee Achievement Award in 2002. And whereas Diane retired from the City of Keene July 8th, 2002, with just over 34 years of dedicated and honorable service, now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Keene hereby extends its sincere thanks to Diane C. Richards-Stoddard and wishes her very best through all her retirement years. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution properly engrossed, be presented to Diane in appreciation of her many years of service to the residents of Keene. It's passed by the council on September 15th, 2022, and it's signed by the mayor, George S. Hansel.
Oh, yeah, I'm real good at this. Thank you, Councilor Powers. Thank you, Elizabeth, Patty, Tom, all the city councilors. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. And I just, sorry. I guess that's it. No, thank you to my husband. Thank you to Dan and Tim and Kathy and Lottie. What a wonderful team. What a wonderful place to work. Thank you.
Just the way they are. All right, we have several proclamations done by the mayor. And the first one here is the Clean Energy Committee. I think somebody's going to join us. At least one person. Who's ever with you, please. Peter. It's a proclamation from the city of Keene. Whereas clean energy and energy conservation are important to Keene's energy future as they reduce pollution and reliance on a diminishing supply of non-renewable energy sources, and whereas the City Council of Keene adopted goals and a plan to move the city and the community to 100% renewable sources of energy for electricity by 2030, and 100% renewable sources for thermal and transportation needs by 2050. And whereas the City of Keene's Community Power Program will enable the city to purchase power on behalf of the Keene residents and businesses and source more energy from renewables. And whereas the City of Keene and its residents, businesses, and other organizations are making great strides to reduce energy uses and transition to renewable sources, and that should be celebrated for sure. And whereas residents and business owners of Keene can contribute to our sustainable energy progress by learning about and participating in energy-related events and programs throughout the month of October, which are listed online at KeeneNergyWeek.com. And whereas the City of Keene Energy and Climate Committee, Clean Energy Team, New Hampshire CDFA, New Hampshire SBDC, Greater Keene and Peterborough Chamber of Commerce, Southwest Region Planning Commission, Southwest Community Services, Paragon Digital Marketing, Monadnock Sustainability Hub, and other public and private groups and individuals have worked together to promote a week of celebrating Keene's achievements while increasing awareness and education around energy uses. And whereas October is National Energy Awareness Month, now therefore I, George Hansel, Mayor of the City of Keene, New Hampshire, do hereby proclaim the week of October 16th to 22nd, 2022 as Keene Energy Week in Keene, and encourage all citizens to celebrate by participating in educational and awareness activities. In witness thereof, I hereunto set my hand and official seal of the City of Keene this 6th day of October 2022, and it's signed by George S. Hansel, the mayor. Can't be with us this evening. Thanks for all your work. Congratulations. Good job.
I encourage everyone to participate in the week, and I also want to congratulate the City of Keene for getting approval on the Community Power Program, which is a big step forward for clean energy going forward. Thank you.
Thanks. Proclamation for the Friends of the Keene Public Library. Jan? I know you're unaccustomed to being up here, so.
I know,
Huh?
I'm shaking. It's so good to see everybody.
Once again, the City of Keene proclamation, whereas the Friends of the Keene Public Library play an important role in supporting the City of Keene's library and library staff in areas not funded by the city budget, and whereas the efforts of the Friends of the Keene Public Library include sponsorship of many enriching programs and special events open to the community, purchase of library equipment, and furniture and passes to New England museums for use by individuals and families, as well as volunteer staffing to improve services. And whereas the fall book sale at the Keene Public Library, sponsored by the Friends since 1983, have helped to provide funding for these many activities, with all the purchases directed by the wishes of the library staff. And whereas the fall book sale to be held Friday, October 21st, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Saturday, October 22nd, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sunday, October 23rd, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and will allow the public to enjoy good quality used hardback and paper titles at bargain prices. You still have the buck a bag deal too?
Yeah,
That's the best one.
$5 a bag
Oh,
on Sunday.
price has gone up. Whereas this year, Thursday, October 20th, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. will be preview day for the members of the Friends, teachers, and booksellers. Sunday, October 23rd, 2022, the Friends are offering a special rate on Bag Day. Just buy a bag for $5 and fill it to the brim with all the books that will fit. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, George S. Hansel, Mayor of the City of Keene, do hereby proclaim October 21st through October 23rd as Friends of the Keene Public Library Days, and do urge citizens of the Monadnock region to visit the fall book sale at the Keene Public Library in support of continued excellent library programs and facilities. In witness thereof, I hereunto set my hand in the official seal of the City of Keene this 6th day of October 2022, signed by George S. Hansel, the mayor.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. This year, we're trying something new. We're not only at Hebert and Hall, but we're upstairs at the Cohen Hall to give more room and more space, so it's not quite as crowded. So I hope you can make it and support us. Thank you. Thanks.
The final proclamation is for Co-op Month. We have a representative. So again, the City of Keene proclamation, whereas the first National Co-op Month was celebrated in 1964 by the U.S. Department of Agriculture and has since been celebrated every October in the United States of America. And whereas cooperatives are businesses that are locally owned by everyday people who join together to achieve shared goals, solve a challenge, or meet a community need together. And whereas cooperatives are recognized in the laws and statutes of New Hampshire as a member or user-owned, user-governed, and user-benefiting enterprise, giving people a real stake in their economic destiny and the future of their communities. And whereas cooperatives enable people to meet a wide variety of needs, goals, and aspirations, including healthy food, employment, farm products, financial services, credit unions, electric, telephone, and cable services, and healthcare, housing, and insurance. And whereas in the United States there are about 65,000 cooperatives, and 1 out of every 3 people is a member of at least one cooperative or credit union. Around the world, there are about 3 million cooperatives, and about 12% of the human population are members of a co-op. About 10% of the world's population, or about 280 million people, are employed by co-ops. And whereas the cooperative philosophy of working together for the common good has prompted communities' well-being, improved the quality of life for citizens of Keene, and play a major role in the regional economy. And whereas Monadnock Food Cooperative is joining with other members of the neighboring Food Cooperative Association, is endorsing the Co-op Month 2021 theme established by National Cooperative Business Association CLUSA International, Build Back for Impact, emphasizing the manner in which cooperative enterprises are helping our communities rebuild from the pandemic in a more inclusive, resilient, and sustainable manner. Now, therefore, I, George Hansel, Mayor of Keene in the state of New Hampshire, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2022 to be Cooperative Month in the city of Keene, and we salute cooperatives and their members for their commitment to our community and the role they play in serving our citizens. In witness thereof, I hereunto set my hand and official seal of the city of Keene this 6th day of October 2022, signed by George S. Hansel, the mayor.
I'll keep it short and sweet since you did so much talking, and just thank everyone so much for having me.
Thank you. Congratulations. Okay. All right. Item B on our agenda, elections, nomination, appointments, and confirmations.
This evening, we are confirming the mayor's nomination for Molly Ellis to serve on the Heritage Commission. This would be for a term to expire December 31, 2025.
Counselor Bosley for a motion, Counselor Greenwald for the second.
I move to confirm the nominations.
Motion is seconded.
Any discussion? This is a roll call.
Counselor Lake,
Yes.
Counselor Johnson,
Yes.
Counselor Filio.
Yes.
Counselor Williams,
Yes.
Counselor Jones,
Yes.
and Counselor Roberts.
Yes.
Counselor Ormerod,
Yes.
and Counselor Chadbourne.
Yes.
Counselor Workman.
Yes.
Counselor Greenwald. Counselor Bosley.
Yes.
Counselor Powers.
Yes.
Nomination is confirmed.
Item C, communications. The first one from Juliana Bergeron requesting no parking at 191 Washington Street.
As our chair just indicated, this is a communication from Juliana Bergeron. She is an employer of several of Northwestern Mutual, and several of her tenants and her clients are having some difficulty exiting their parking lot at 191 Washington Street. They're looking for no parking to be enacted in that area.
And we'll be referring this to the Municipal Services, Facilities, and Infrastructure Committee. The next item is from Ron Robbins, Keene Snow Riders.
This is our annual request from the Snow Riders looking for permission to use the city's right-of-way along Criff Road from the Ashwillet Rail Trail to Winchester Street during the winter season for snowmobiling.
And this will be referred to Planning, Licenses, and Development Committee. The third item is Councilor Filio. That's the letter.
And Council Filio is expressing his concerns over the technology of 5G towers and is looking for the city council to address these health issues.
This also will be referred to the Planning, Licenses, and Development Committee. Next item is our reports from council committees.
We have an information report.
Yes, sir.
The last item that you sent to committee, I believe it's on more time already at that committee, is that correct? And
Yes.
does that mean we're bringing the more time issue up, or are we just addressing the council's letter?
So my intention is to have the more time item brought up at our next PLD meeting and take care of both of things at the same time.
Thank you.
So,
We have an information report from the Municipal Services Facility and Infrastructure Committee. It's relative to some discussion about the city's resumption of maintenance of Blaine Street, which is a private way.
and it's recommended by the vote of the committee that we file this into the record as informational. Now, because we have a few people missing today, and I'm sitting up here, and our FOP committee had a couple of folks not at the last meeting. We're kind of switching things around. So you'll hear a motion from one member and second from another, and I'll cover what the information was, because I was there. I don't know how well I'll do it, but, so. Item 2 is,
Finance Organization and Personnel Committee report relative to a hazardous materials emergency preparedness grant. This is an amended FY21 award. On a vote of 3-0, the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee recommends the City Council authorize the city manager to do all things necessary to apply for, execute, expend, and accept the terms of the amended grant agreement from the Hazardous Materials Preparedness Grant application as presented in the amount of $37,751.25 for the purchase and installation of conferencing equipment and hazmat plan updates.
Counselor Chadbourne for a motion, Counselor Lake for the second.
I move to carry out the intent of the committee report.
Second.
And a description of this particular item that's come before the council is, you will recall, an award of a grant prior, and it was approved by the council. However, the cost of items and current pricing has gone up, so the funds were not enough to cover it in that particular grant. So the department went back to the granting authorities and sought additional funding that was granted to the city to cover all the costs, but we have to go through this paper process again to get approval. So I believe the committee passed this unanimously. Roll call?
Discussion? No roll call.
No. Any discussion? All those in favor? Thank you. And the next item is acceptance of a 2021 Assistance to Firefighters Grant.
Finance Organization and Personnel Committee report read, recommending on a vote of 3-0, the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee recommends the City Council authorize the city manager to do all things necessary to accept and expend the FY 2021 Assistance to Firefighters Grant in the amount of $219,589.09 with a 10% city match.
Counselor Chadbourne for a motion and Counselor Lake for the second.
Move to carry out carry out the intent of the committee report.
Second.
Thank you. And so the information on this particular item before the council is that the department applied for some assistance with training costs and equipment, and they were awarded $219,589.09. And before I get down on the council, I'm going to have somebody be able to find out for us why we always have pennies on the end of these things. Essentially, there are two different sessions that will be worked through the program for rescue technician, and there'll be some vendors that will come in to assist with that. And of course, it's going to have to be on off duty for some, so this grant will cover those costs. The city's portion is $21,958.91, and that's covered in the current budget of the department. The committee recommended that be approved unanimously, and we'd ask you to do the same. Any discussion, questions? All those in favor? All right, thank you. Next item is authorization to accept a Housing Opportunity Planning Grant.
Finance Organization and Personnel Committee report relative to the authorization to accept a Housing Opportunity Planning Grant for a housing needs analysis. This is from the Community Development Department. On a vote of 3-0, the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee recommends the city manager do all things necessary to accept and expend the Housing Opportunity Planning Grant for housing needs analysis and planning in the amount of $15,500 from Invest New Hampshire Municipal Planning and Zoning Grant Program as funded by the New Hampshire Department of Business and Economic Affairs for the purposes of hiring a consultant to complete a housing needs analysis for the city of Keene.
Counselor Chadbourne for a motion, Counselor Lake for a second.
Move to carry out the intent of the committee report.
Second.
Thank you. This also is second part of a program that's been worked on by the Community Development Department, and This is the grant that's going to help pay for this particular program, $15,500. And it's vital information that we really need to get moving here to help us in the work we're trying to do to solve some of the problems with housing, not only in Keene, but in the general area. So very good program, very helpful to us for the state to get involved. Passed unanimously by the FOP, and I'd like to see you do the same. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? Okay. City Manager.
Thank you. So this evening, I would like to recognize our newly appointed police chief, Steve Stewart, in the audience this evening. Thanks, Steve. Steve was appointed police chief on September 19th, and I did make the announcement at the September 15th council meeting, but he was unable to attend, so tonight we just wanted to take a moment to publicly congratulate him and thank him very much for his willingness to take on this role. I have another individual in the audience this evening that I'm going to just quickly introduce. We hired our new deputy fire chief, Christopher McCarthy, is in the back there. This week is his first week. Very happy to have him on board. Another individual from Colorado. If you remember, our community development director also came from there. Mr. McCarthy was the fire chief at the town of Palmer Lake, Colorado, before coming here, and he has 37 years of experience in the field of fire and EMS service. So we're very happy to have you on board. Then just a couple of other announcements for you. The Fire and Community Development Department have been working on integrating the fire permitting and inspection process in the iWork software system that's currently used by community development. They have mapped out the process, created the forms, and will be going live, we hope, in the next month or two. I have asked the fire chief to provide an update to the council at your next regular meeting regarding our fire inspection program, and at the same time introduce our 2 new fire inspectors. The chief has made significant progress in this area with the help of his department, the fire marshal's office, the community development office, and the help and support from both Med Kopczynski and our community development director, Jesse Round. There has been significant progress on inspection backlogs, improvement in the quality of inspections being conducted, increased training opportunities, and this partnership between fire and community development that is evolving. I'm looking forward to the chief sharing some of these updates with you at your next meeting. And then I wanted to give you a quick branding update. I attended a stakeholders meeting via Zoom last week with the chamber regarding their branding campaign. And I got a sneak peek at what they will be presenting to the public within the next few weeks, and I'm very encouraged. The Chamber's branding efforts will dovetail nicely with the city's efforts. Their colors will even go well with ours, which was a nice surprise. The Chamber is planning to focus implementation in years 1 and 2 around messaging to visitors, new residents, potential workforce, and in year 3, they will focus their messaging on business recruitment. So I'm looking forward to working with them as we roll out our branding efforts as well. You heard tonight they stole my big news about community power. You might have already read it in the paper, but the council had adopted the city's community power plan last year in May. It's been over a year already. And we submitted that plan immediately to the Public Utilities Commission, where it's set for all this time. The final rules related to community power were only recently approved in mid-September, and our initial plan that was submitted last year needed several minor changes to comply with the rules, including a new appendix describing data security. In August, we resubmitted that plan with what we believed would be the required revisions, and happy to say on Monday we did get approval of our plan. So now we need to bring it back to the council to get the amendments approved. And right now we are planning to bring it to FOP on October 27th. Assuming we receive council approval, we would plan to actually launch the program in the spring. And given the ever-increasing cost of energy, we are anxious to do this. and not only move the city closer to our energy goals, but to also provide competitive pricing for our residents, which is very important right now. And you heard tonight one of the committee reports about the grant from Invest NH for the housing study that we are about to kick off in the next month or so. And we did receive word that Invest NH also is awarding us just over $90,000 for Phase 3, which is implementations of recommendations that we find out during our housing analysis. So FLP will see that come forward again, and that's it for me.
Our next item is under G, reports.
This is a report on behalf of the Joint Planning Board, Planning Licenses and Development Committee. It's relative to amendments to the Land Development Code contained in Ordinance O 2022-11. This deals with the Business Growth and Reuse Zoning District, I believe on the Marlborough Street property. The Planning Board found that the ordinance was consistent with the Comprehensive Master Plan, and the PLD component of that joint meeting recommends that the mayor set a public hearing on the ordinance.
Based on that recommendation and the direction of the mayor, the public hearing for will be Thursday, November 3rd, here in the City Council chamber at 7 p.m. Item H, reports. More time?
Well, actually, no.
No?
This is what we want you to say.
Okay. Change. In speaking with the staff and Councilor Greenwell, who was the petitioner for this request, this item can be reported out as informational. I understand the discussion at the last MSFI committee meeting and the information provided that evening indicated that city staff would be administratively posting the appropriate signage relative to the prohibited use of illegal drugs in the parks. With this action, there is no further aspect of this discussion that would be warrant more time. If there is no objection, this item is reported out as informational. Yes, sir?
It's not an objection. Just a request, I'd just like to see the signage before it goes up. Please.
Okay. Discussion, right? Okay, the next item is discussion, Chapter 58, Parks, Recreation, and Public Facilities, and more time is granted for that. Moving along to the next item is J, ordinances for the second reading.
We have a Finance, Organization, and Personnel Committee report relative to Ordinance O 2022-13. The committee is recommending the adoption of the ordinance, and we have Ordinance O 2022-13, an ordinance relating to probationary firefighters. You will find on your desk this evening a red line version of this ordinance. There were several Scribner type of corrections, language rephrasing that's contained in this, but it's not an A version. And with that, the ordinance is ready for your action.
Okay, we'll file the report, and Councilor Chadbourne for a motion, Councilor Lake for the second, please.
Move to adopt ordinance O-2022-12.
Second.
Thank you. So this item came before FOP with the Human Resources Director explained that essentially, bottom line is this brings this portion of the code in line with the current practice, and it mirrors, it ties it up to be in parallel with the contract language that already exists. So we're cleaning up some language that was found to be not current when several folks were hired that came into the department from outside. So they come in probationary and then they work themselves through the system, which hasn't happened in these particular positions in the past. So a review was done and these changes were recommended to the committee. I saw Counselor first and then.
Can we just have some clarity on the ordinance number? Mine says 13, and I believe Counselor said 12.
Yeah, it was a Scribner's
That's what I was going, that's what I was raising my hand for, too. Scrivener's error that was corrected behind me.
It's 13.
So-
It's 13.
So it's 13.
It's 13. Thank you.
See, they were reading. They didn't pass by. Any other discussion? Thank you. This will be a roll call, simple majority.
Counselor Lake.
Yes.
Counselor Johnson.
Yes.
Counselor Filio.
Yes.
Counselor Williams.
Yes.
Counselor Jones.
Yes.
Counselor Roberts.
Yes.
Counselor Ormerod.
Yes.
Counselor Chadbourne.
Yes.
Counselor Workman.
Yes.
Counselor Greenwald.
Yep.
Counselor Bosley.
Yes.
And Counselor Powers.
Yes. Public session, we have an adjournment. We have a motion, please.
Not necessary. You can just declare it.
We're in adjournment for collective bargaining.
But 3-minute recess if you
Yes.
might. We're going to bring in our legal counsel by Zoom, so we need a few minutes to set us up.